Welcome everybody to Getting in the Pickle. I'm Josh Stevens along with Isaac Edelman, and we will be talking about the AL East. So Isaac, as it stands right now, 4 teams would make the playoffs from the AL East. Do you see this standing at the end of the season?
It's an interesting question, and it's kind of hard to predict an MLB team's long success because the MLB season is so long, and it's not even the All Star break yet. But look, I think easily the AL East is the most talented division. You got the Yankees in first place right now by a big margin. They're up 9 games over the Toronto Blue Jays, 11 games over the Tampa Bay Rays, and 12 and a half games above the Red Sox. The Orioles are in last place. They don't exist. I mean, maybe in the future they have Adley Rutschman. But anyway, yeah, it's an interesting situation. Now, even though the Blue Jays are 9 games back, they're the first seed in the wild card race. And the Rays are the second seed, and the Red Sox are the third seed. It's interesting. The Blue Jays, though, have been an interesting team. They haven't played as good as I thought they would, but they're still talented this year. Like, Vladimir Guerrero Jr. has been at an all-star level, but not as good as he was last year. But things can change, right, Josh?
Yeah, what's crazy about it is 3 out of the top 4 teams, the Yankees obviously are playing up to their potential, but the Rays, Blue Jays, and Red Sox, I think, still have to offer more. And just to interrupt, if you want to call in, that is 1-2-3-4-5-6-7-8-9-0. Again, that's 1-2-3-4-5-6-7-8-9-0. But back to the discussion. The Red Sox, their starting pitching is really starting to come along, but they have injuries now. Garrett Whitlock's on the injured list. Chris Sale has been out the entire year. James Paxton has been out the entire year. And Nathan Eovaldi. So they're getting some guys to come and step up, but they really need some health. The Blue Jays, like you said, they have a lot of talent. Vlad Guerrero Jr. hasn't performed as well to expectations, either as Matt Chapman. But they're still an uber talented team, and so are the Rays. The Rays seem to get it done every year. I'm still waiting on that 20-game stretch where they go 18-2, like the Yankees seem to be doing all the time.
Exactly. Now, the Rays don't have Tyler Glass now. He hasn't played one game this season. It'll be interesting to see if he comes back. He's really in nowhere land right now.
Yeah.
No one really knows when he's going to come back. Like Jacob deGrom and Max Scherzer, they've been out for a while, but people now have a sense of when they're coming back. With Tyler Glass now, no one knows. And remember, he's Tampa Bay's ace. But I do want to talk about the Yankees for a second. They have the Bronx Bombers, Stanton, Rizzo, Gallo, Judge. They've been amazing this year. But their pitching is interesting. I don't think Garrett Cole has been their best pitcher this year. It's been Nestor Cortez.
He has. Garrett Cole's been very solid, but Nestor Cortez is a top 3 Cy Young candidate right now.
Yeah, and the Yankees really haven't had to rely on their bullpen this year because their offense has just been so powerful. Aroldis Chapman hasn't played a lot this year, right?
He has not. Okay, we have a caller here. Tell us your name and where you're from and what you think.
Hello, I'm Dylan from Florida, and I think that I want to talk about the Boston Red Sox a little. And they are 12 and a half games behind the Yankees right now. They are in the playoffs as of right now, but still 4th place in the AL East. You'd want to get a little more comfort, and I think that the perfect thing for them to do sooner rather than later would be to pay Rafael Devers. You see in sports that when a guy on a team gets paid, it kind of boosts. First of all, it boosts like their morale, and then it also boosts the other guys in the locker room morale because they see that a guy who has played very well gets the bag, and if they see that if they play well now, they could get that soon too. So it kind of boosts everyone's morale and makes everyone play a little better, in my opinion. So I think that they should pay Rafael Devers soon.
As a diehard Red Sox fan, I agree with you 1,000%. Although the Red Sox and Devers have both expressed interest in waiting until the offseason to try to strike a deal to not try to lose focus in the regular season. But the sooner the deal is done, the better. And I'd actually be fine throwing him a blank checkbook. I mean, some of these huge contracts haven't worked out, but Rafael Devers is still young. He's in his mid-20s, and he's already putting up MVP numbers. So throw a blank checkbook at him. And also Xander Bogaerts, been super consistent for the last 5-6 years. You know what you're getting from him. He'll hit over 300. He'll hit 20 home runs. He's not a great defender, but he won't cost you games out there. You need to pay him as well. He'll be opting out of his contract. And Chaim Bloom coming over from Tampa, he's used to saving money, not really spending big on players, but this is Boston now. This is a chance to really lock up these great players for the next few years.
I always say the best ability is durability. Devers has played the most games this year for the Red Sox and also has the most at-bats. Plus, he leads them in home runs with 16. He also has 40 RBIs now. It's interesting. Trevor Story leads Boston in RBIs with 42. I know he's been an interesting player to talk about this season, up and down, and he usually is consistent in his MLB career. Obviously, this is his first year on the Red Sox. He was with the Rockies. But yeah, the Red Sox are going to compete. I don't see how they can make it far in the playoffs, let alone the wild card, just because there's better teams than them. But hey, if they keep on going, obviously it's before All-Star break. We'll see if injuries arise and whatnot. But the Red Sox are likely going to make the wild card. And to answer your original question at the beginning of the show, it looks like the 4 teams will make the playoffs in the AL East. Obviously, it depends on what happens in the rest of the American League. But if you look, it's really just the AL East because the Cleveland Guardians, they are a half game back of the 3rd wild card spot. But besides Jose Ramirez, who by the way is an MVP candidate, the Guardians, and I keep on wanting to say the Indians, the Guardians really have nothing. Shane Bieber, top pitcher, but I don't know. I just feel like they don't have enough star power. Now, the White Sox are 3 games back of the 3rd spot. They're an interesting team. Lucas Giolito, amazing. Obviously, Tim Anderson, amazing. Yasmani Grandal, Lewis Robert, Liam Hendricks, right?
Yeah, top closer.
So we'll see what happens. But no, this is a great conversation. We thank everyone for calling in. And I think just to wrap this up, Josh, who do you think is going to win the World Series this year? I know we want to stick it to the American League, but I'm kind of hinting it. I don't think a National League team's winning the World Series.
I think the Dodgers.
Oh, okay.
Dodgers, so much star power. Walker Buehler, Clayton Kershaw, Hyun-Jin Ryu. There's so many good pitchers. Actually, Ryu is on the Blue Jays, but they have a ton of great pitchers. They have hitting. They have Mookie Betts. They have Freddie Freeman, Trey Turner. Their lineup just up and down. No guys you want to face in that lineup. No pitchers you really want to face. I just don't see how any team can beat them 4 times in 7 games.
I respectfully disagree. I think that Nestor Cortez is going to be an ace in the playoffs with his mustache. And also, all rise to Aaron Judge, They can hit. Now, the Dodgers can hit too, obviously. So that's really a dream matchup in the World Series. We've seen Braves-Astros. We've seen Nationals-Astros. We've seen Dodgers-Rays. It's interesting. The teams are not, that competitive.
Yeah.
Like the Rays didn't have firepower. The Astros were interesting because they were good, but they weren't star-filled. Like the Braves didn't even have Acuna. If we get Yankees and Dodgers in the World Series this year and they're all healthy, that's going to be something.
It definitely will. And we have time for one more quick question. If Dylan, you're still on the line, do you have one more quick question for us?
Yes, I just wanted to ask you guys, who do you think is going to win the division where it is a close race between the Brewers and the Cardinals?
Oh, that's a good question. The Cardinals, it just seems like it's their year. Everything's going right for them. They have 3 guys that might be retiring at the end of the season. Yadier Molina is already given he'll be retiring. Adam Wainwright's in his 40s. Albert Pujols is in their 40s. And it's crazy that they're still getting top-tier production from all 3 guys. Just seems like one of those great stories that the Cardinals will be able to finish off.
Yeah, I agree. The Brewers just beat the Mets last night 10-2. And the Mets are a very good team. They're probably going to win the NL East. So I kind of want to say the Brewers after what I saw last night. But no, the Cardinals are much better. If you look at the Brewers, they really don't have a lot going on. I mean, their batting average leader is Tellez, 248. Willie Adames leads them with only 11 home runs. It's not a good team. Christian Yelich hasn't been anything since his MVP self. The Brewers really are nothing now. Paul Goldschmidt, he's not going to win MVP, but I see him getting possibly into the conversation.
Yeah, Hank Aaron Award, I think, is his award to lose right now.
Exactly. So, look, I think that's going to wrap it up. But, yeah, I like that question, man. The Cardinals just seem like a way better team than the Brewers. Now, look, if the Brewers end up winning the division, I'm going to question myself. I'm going to ask myself, how? Yes, they have good pitching. Corbin Burns is amazing. But the Cardinals, usually offense, you could give up 6 runs per game, but if you get 7 runs on offense, you win the game.
Yeah.
That seems like what the Cardinals would do.
I agree. This has been a great show here. This is In the Pickle, getting in the pickle. Isaac Edelman, I'm Josh Stevens. Big things coming up for the AL East in the future, and we'll see you guys next time.